Hi, I'm Dr. Ann Moore, and I want to offer a little more context to this week's discussion post related to licensure and addiction certification. As you're probably very well aware, licensure in social work is very important. It involves not only obtaining your master's in social work, but having clinical supervision postgraduate, as well as taking a licensure exam. I think people often think of licensure as being critical when you're going to do clinical work, and it certainly is. The first 10 years of my career were clinical social work, and the expectation of my employer was that I obtain licensure within a couple years of graduating with my master's, which I did. But it is equally important in macro work, which was the last 10 years the second 10 years that I practiced in social work. My work was definitely macro. I was in executive management. My roles were primarily grant writing, program management, as well as testifying in front of the state congressional committees on behalf of our field. And all of those things, my license was as important as when I was doing the micro clinical work. So regardless of the area of practice you intend to endeavor, you really do require a license in social work. Now, if you're going to work in addictions, there is an additional certification licensure that is also important, but it is separate from your license for social work, and that is your addiction certification. There's a national certification that you can obtain, but there are also several states that have their own certification programs, and they would require or prefer you to have the certification of the state, that particular state, rather than the national. My example is my work in Colorado, which is where I did my addictions work. So when I graduated with my master's, I was pursuing my license and obtained that, but at the same time, I was also pursuing my certification in addictions within Colorado. And in Colorado, if you were going to work in addictions, they did not care what your degree was. It could be a medical degree, a social work degree, a master's degree in counseling. It did not matter. You had to also have the addiction certification. So this is most likely the case in many states. And again, some states have their own certification process, and some want you to receive the national certification. And certainly, as the lead of the addictions track, I am always happy to help anyone when they're trying to figure out which certification they need for their state, because sometimes it requires some research and digging. So I just wanted to provide that additional context for this week's discussion post, and thank you for your attention.